everyone, welcome back. I'm so glad that you could make it. Here we are at home at the Ballard. This is a presentation of the Ballard Institute and Museum of Puppetry at the University of Connecticut, where I'm the graduate assistant at the Ballard and about to finish my second year of my MFA program at the University of Connecticut in the Puppet Arts program. Throughout the past semester, I've been doing this independent study on the intersection of STEAM and puppetry. So that's science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics, and puppetry. I think there's a real connection here, and I'm really excited to be able to explore it further with you today. There have been 2 workshops before this, and if this is the first one that you're joining, the other 2 will be super fun for you to catch up on. They just have a lot of information that we're going to use today. We've addressed things like going from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions, how to engage in an iterative design process, how to measure, how to do different scales, and we've talked about simple machines. So we're going to review all of that today and get into finally applying some of the lessons that we've learned in making a puppet that can wave its arm up and down. So I really like to start by just all breathing together, making sure we're all in a space ready to create. So let's go ahead and do that. Get your wiggles out. Yeah, one of these. A little bit of this. It's okay. Yeah. Okay. Once you feel your wiggles are out, and very much take your time. Go ahead and take 3 deep breaths with me. In through your nose and out through your mouth. So ready? In. One. Whew, that felt good. Thanks. So, okay, I want to say that today we're going to be using all kinds of different recycled materials. If we were at our favorite studios or our favorite maker spaces, maybe we could use different materials like foam and fabric and stuff like that. But for today, we're just going to use stuff we probably were going to throw away anyway. Clean recyclables, cardboard, shoeboxes, stuff like that. And this is a place to be resourceful. This is a place to use what you have, right? This is not something where you need to go out and buy anything or anything like that. This should be whatever is available to you is what you should use. So last time we talked about 6 simple machines. Those 6 simple machines are inclined plane, wedge, screw, pulley, wheel and axle, and the one that's the most important today is the lever. I know that last time I kind of talked a little bit about a class 1, class 2 lever, and I didn't really get into that. And I had some questions about it from some good friends, wondering, well, don't leave us hanging, Miss Felicia. So I brought along this book, Making Things Move by Dustin Roberts, which is a really great resource if you're trying to make any kind of moving art. And so a class 1 lever looks like this, where the force and the thing that you're moving, the weight, are divided by the fulcrum, right? And the fulcrum is the area where the lever moves, right? Like this, like a seesaw. So, like I said, in a class 1, the fulcrum is in between the force and the weight that we're moving. In a class 2, in a second class level, the fulcrum, let me get really close here. The fulcrum is beyond the load and the input. So input, load, fulcrum, which is different from that class 1 that I just talked about, where it goes input, fulcrum, load. Does that make sense? Just different ways of moving things. It's all about these 6 simple machines. Every single one of them is about transfer of energy and moving weight. They're all about just different ways of force multiplication and ways of maximizing the energy that we're putting into our different designs. If you want to know more about the 6 simple machines, I'd recommend going back to part 2 of this STEAM workshop. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. Let's get going, let's make stuff. So, we're going to work a little bit, I've made a sort of prototype of what we'll be working on today. And I just made this out of a container that used to hold tofu and a container that used to hold cookies, balance, a little bit of cardboard, and a stick. So we're gonna make something like this today, okay? Awesome. I'm gonna make it on a larger scale with a more kind of open, an open side so that it can be demonstrated better. But if you want to make it closed, like something like a oatmeal container or anything like that, that's totally great too. I just want everybody to be able to see what I'm doing. So the first step is to find the structure, right? To find the structure of what it is that we're trying to make. I chose a shoebox because I thought it would be big enough and I thought that it would be awesome for people to be able to see what I was doing. Then we need something that's going to create our fulcrum. This should be kind of sturdy. So I chose some cardboard that a candle had been shipped in because it's nice and sturdy. Ooh, ooh, I love that sound. This is turning into an ASMR show. Okay, so I also really liked that it already had tabs that I can glue onto the bottom of my container. And this is all about, you know, when I think puppeteers and artists, once you kind of start making things for a while, you kind of know what you're looking for when you're looking for materials. And you might save things that are like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna use that. I definitely am gonna need sturdy cardboard later. So I saved this box. So what we want here is kind of this shape, right? This, oh, get out of my way. Right? That way we have enough to glue down to the bottom of our container and we have this nice, easy fulcrum. You could use something like the cookie containers that I use that has a little bit of a groove on it, something like that. Whatever you have available is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna get out my hot glue and I'm gonna glue that down to the bottom of my container. Now, when I'm hot gluing, a good rule of thumb is to put your glue on the thing that isn't going to move, right? That way it's nice and safe for everybody. Okay. Got that there, awesome. And actually, it's a little bit longer than I need it to be, so I'm gonna cut it down. And in cutting, I'm gonna use a utility blade, but I'm always gonna cut away from myself. Or I like actually to cut on a horizontal if I'm standing on a vertical. Okay, and always close your blade. So like I said, just following safety rules, I wanna put the glue on the thing that I am gluing to, the thing that is not going to move when I am attaching it. So I'm gonna start again, put a little glue right there. And if you don't have hot glue, masking tape rolled up like we talked about last time is fine. That's a good use of masking tape. You could also use regular Elmer's glue, although that might take a little longer to dry. You could also go ahead and use one of my favorite inventions for crafting, glue dots. Glue dots are like just these little tiny dots of glue that are kind of like stickers if both sides were sticky. And they come in a roll. And they're just really helpful if you're just, here, so you can see the little, maybe you can't see those little dots of glue, but they're just really helpful if you're just kind of prototyping and sticking temporarily. So, okay, we've got our fulcrum. Now, oh, not enough glue there. Okay. Yeah, glue dots are super helpful. Okay, got our fulcrum, and now I wanted to create a sleeve, kind of a channel for the lever to go through, a channel for it to go through. So what I did was I just kind of created, oh yeah, you can kind of see it a little bit. You can see the U of the of cardboard that I've made. See that? And I used a Sour Patch Kids container. So in order to create that channel, I'm just going to create a nice U out of a strip of cardboard. So here is my strip of Sour Patch Kids cardboard. I make a U, and then I want to fold it really nice. Kind of like this. And I'm folding these in specific ways in order to have places to attach them. Because the more surface area that you're able to put glue on to attach to the thing that you're attaching to, the better it's gonna work. The more strength the glue is gonna have, right? So, and because it's gonna be on a surface that is not level, I'm gonna do a little tricky thing. Ooh, cut safely. I like to make sound effects when I do cool things. So, I've got this going, and I've created this channel, and the channel is gonna run perpendicular to the fulcrum. And like I said, I did this fancy thing so that I have a way of attaching my channel. Does that make sense? Okay. Add the glue, add the glue. Add the glue. Man, it's a little cloudy here today, but I still got to see some nice birds this morning. Okay, now the other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna see where it's gonna attach and then put glue there. And be really careful with that hot glue, okay? The American Sign Language for puppet show is this, puppet show. And someone told me once as a joke that they thought the ASL for puppet making should be because of all the hot glue. I thought that was kind of silly. Okay, so now we've got our fulcrum and we've got a channel. And now we need the thing that's gonna be our lever. And hopefully you have a stick. I'm using a little bit of PVC that I have left over from another project. You could also use a dowel. This dowel is also left over from another project. As long as it's about, as long as you have a good 1.5 inches on either side of room, you'll be fine. Now, this part is a little bit tricky. It's not dangerous, it's just tricky. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take a pen or a marker and you're going to make a mark where the lever is gonna hit. I'm doing this on the other side too. Okay, and now this part, you might wanna ask an adult for help with. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut into the box. If you are doing this with scissors, just be really, really careful. If you're doing it with a utility knife, also be very careful. But I'm gonna cut a nice kind of long, a long slot. And it should be wider than the dowel that you're gonna use. Okay. Hey, there we go. Okay. And you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Make sure this fits. Yeah. Okay, so far so good. Well, let me get a little more. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I need to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now I have two nice matching slots. I'm gonna add my dowel or my stick or my lever. Okay. Hey, not bad. I'm pretty happy with that actually, because now this has that motion that I was looking for. And I'm gonna say that this side will be our input and this side will be our load. So what I'm gonna wanna do is make like a little hand so that it can actually wave. What do I have that I can make that out of? Oh, yeah, that'll work. Or maybe it's a heart, or maybe it's a fish fin. It doesn't have to be a hand. It could be anything that you think would move kind of this way. Okay, use my scissors. That's not too bad. I'll add a little detail. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can comment them. I would love to see pictures of what you're making. If you're making cool stuff, if you're just watching along, that's fine too. Okay. For a quick job, I think it's all right. So this time I'm going to use the glue dots because I know that I want you guys to see how cool these things are. So I put the thing that I'm trying to stick onto the glue, and then I have just a little dot of glue on the back of the thing that I'm trying to stick it to. And it's not a permanent solution, but if you're just prototyping and just playing around, it should be fine. All right, let's see, how much time do we have? Oh, we're moving quick. Okay, yes. Oh yes, thank you. You have to make sound effects, especially when you're in your house by yourself. Okay, how's that? Hey, not bad. It's a little wiggly, but that's definitely something that I would shift and change maybe in a different iteration of this. And it's definitely okay to fail, right? Like there's a whole ethos behind any sort of design principles that are like, you know, design the thing, prototype the thing, mess it up, go back, mess it up, go back, mess it up, go back. And this iterative process is actually really key to any sort of design, especially in puppetry, where you're often making something that has never existed before. Okay, so let's keep it grooving, keep it moving. Let me see. I think now I want to add some eyes. So, let me see. This is the front of my puppet, and if I wanted to, what I could totally do is add like a little stick or something down here so that you wouldn't even see my hands, right? So it would be like completely independent. And notice also that when we change the balance on the fulcrum, we get a lot more range of movement, right? So here is pretty different than here. And it's being limited right now by the hole that I cut, but whew, I could always make that bigger or smaller. So let's see it from the other side. This is kind of a different range of motion than this, right? Yeah. Okay, pretty happy with that. I'm gonna add some eyeballs, like I said. We might have time to make a second puppet. And I chose these because I thought they'd make good eyes. This is a juice cap. Okay. Do your thing, hot glue. Whew. VIP of puppet materials, am I right? Okay. Yeah, I like that. This is a pretty friendly guy, I'd say. Woo! I think this is a pretty good puppet so far, but I'm gonna teach you to make another one just for fun because we have the time. I was hoping we'd get to this today, but I wasn't sure. So what you'll take is a tube, any sort of tube. Could be a paper towel tube, a toilet paper tube, could be like an old oatmeal container, something like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully cut it. Oh, let's use our utility knife again. What a good noise. Speaking of sound effects, that's a really good one. ASMR at the Ballard. All right. So I'm gonna cut into my paper towel tube. Ooh, sorry, away from me. And I'm gonna cut it about 3/4 of the way around. Now, the part that I didn't cut becomes, oh, I need a little more clearance there. Becomes a hinge. And what I'm gonna do is just glue a piece of strong cardboard. Yeah, this will work. Oh, yeah, no, I'm gonna use this one instead. I'm gonna glue a piece of strong cardboard or string to the back of this. I think I want something longer, actually. Like I said, an iterative process is really important, and it's really important to let yourself make mistakes, right? If you feel like you can make mistakes, then you feel like you can also succeed, right? You have to balance both. Okay. So I'm gonna glue that strip of cardboard to the top of the back. This is not an advertisement for Sour Patch Kids, and I don't even eat them that often. Sometimes you need a little movie snack. So I'm gonna glue that onto the top of the back of the paper towel or toilet paper tube. Okay, and now, I've got this little guy who just wants to chat and chat and chat. You can make yourself a friend if you're feeling lonely. One of the best parts about puppetry. So that's pretty simple. And you can add all different sorts of like decorations, etc. This is something where it's really fun to have like a choir of these, right? Because they sing so well. And what you could also do is attach some of those poles that you're making and have them all talk at the same time. There's an idea for you. So, we've got our two puppets. I think we did a pretty good job. I'm really excited to see what you made. If you participated even a little bit, we would love to see what you did. We would love to see all your pictures and different ideas and stuff like that. Let me know what you struggled with. Let me know what wasn't clear. Yeah, this has been really fun. Let me see. You can keep adding flair. Different, like, if you shred up a plastic bag, that could make really good hair. There's all sorts of different things you can add once you start seeing the shapes and stuff. I think most puppeteers are really inspired by the materiality around them, by the materiality of the objects around them. So, let us know what you thought. Our next Ballard live broadcast is going to be Friday, and you're going to be hearing from 2 awesome puppeteers, and you can ask them whatever you want to ask them. These are people who are really good at what they do, Tracy Becker and Abby Bosley, and who are just about to leave our UConn program. And leaving our UConn program means that they are about to, start off on their careers. So if you have any questions for them, you can email them ahead of time to bimp@uconn.edu, or just tune in for the live stream Friday at 2 p.m. This week is finals week at the UConn Puppet Arts program, so we also have a ton of cool stuff going on. Stay tuned on this page for more information about how to watch our finals if you're into that, and all sorts of different stuff we're going to be doing over the summer and etc. We've been happy to offer these workshops for free, but if you are able to, the donation button should be in the comments. So that's it for STEAM and Puppetry with Felicia. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead and get your wiggles out again. Always good to wiggle. Don't forget to wiggle. And yeah, bye-bye.